we've been doing live streaming for a while, and new platforms have opened up that made it really attractive to want to distribute to multiple platforms at the same time. So you might use the service like Livestream, but you still want to go out to Twitter, you still want to go out to Facebook Live, you still want to go out to YouTube Live. And what we're going to discuss today are ways you can do that. Our first category are hardware devices that stream directly to one or more services. And we're going to talk about two products, the Matrox Monarch HDX and the Teradek T-Rax. Starting with the Matrox Monarch, I wrote a review of that product that's available at the bit.ly link that you can see. Ran the product through its paces pretty well if you want to read a full review of that particular product. And here's what it looks like from an I/O perspective. And what you see is that you've got two separate inputs for both HDSDI and HDMI on the back, and you've also got two Ethernet connectors if you want to do that as well. On the front, you see some USB ports, and those USB ports are for local storage. That can be any kind of USB hard drive. You also see an SD card slot, so you can record video in the SD slot while you're producing your video, streaming out the Ethernet port. So you've got two encoders in this product, and you can use it in a couple different ways. If you want to stream to two different services, you can stream to two different services. If you want to record one version locally, you can use that input, store that locally to the SD card, and then stream the other one. So you can share the input that way. So it's a pretty flexible product. If you want to do one at 3 megabits a second to go out to YouTube Live, and you want to do one at 10 megabits per second for your own internal network, you can do that as well. These are the questions that I sent to Matrox and their responses. Who's the typical customer? And it's a wide variety of users, as you would expect. Why do you want to use an appliance rather than a cloud service? We're going to be discussing cloud services towards the end of the presentation. And they talk about some of the primary use cases. You can stream primary and backup server destinations for redundancy. That's nice. You can stream locally at a high bit rate and send a lower quality stream to your CDN. That's also nice. Obviously, that you can stream to different services. That's kind of why we're here. What key features differentiate your product from others in the same category? Two independent encoders. So there's not a lot of hardware devices in the $2,000 price range that have two separate encoding capabilities. It also has a nice feature, SDI power loss. So if something happens to the unit, the SDI signal will be routed through the box. So it'll go out the other side, and you can continue to use the signal with another encoder. So that's kind of nice. And then it also has closed caption capability if that's important for you. And the hardware, as I said, costs about $2,000. And Matrox does a very good job with their marketing, and they've got some case studies. If you're interested in understanding how companies or other organizations are using these, you can check out the case studies here. So that's that's a two output unit, two inputs, two outputs. And the Teradek T-Rax is a rack-mounted system that gives you the ability to, I think it's up to 8 different either encoder cards or decoder cards. So you can stream out to 8 different destinations if you choose to do so. Who's the typical customer? This is not necessarily that expensive, but I mean it's not a $2,000 product. I mean it starts at $3,500, and each hardware encoder or decoder is $1,500. So you can get up pretty quickly in overall price. So it is enterprise and broadcast companies who are using it. And this is kind of interesting. Why do you want to use an appliance like this rather than sending a stream to the cloud and doing it there? So some of their customers are primarily concerned with security. They don't want to use a cloud service. They want to go directly to they don't want to split in a cloud service. They want to go directly to Facebook Live or to YouTube Live or the service they're going to. And a lot of others don't like the subscription payment models for cloud services. Obviously, if you pay for the hardware, then you can stream directly, and there's no subscription cost to the different services. And the key feature here, I think, is just dense. If you need a lot of encoders to go out, the T-Rax is probably the most dense solution that we've seen. Again, the hardware costs $3,500 for the rack-mounted system itself, and every encoder and decoder in the card costs in the case costs $1,500. And you can see some case studies or a case study at the URL shown.